गुरुन् अहत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेया भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यम् अपि इहि लोके हत्वा अर्थकामान् तु गुरून् इहि एव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिर प्रतिग्धान्. Better to live on alms in this world than to slay these noble elders, because after killing them we could enjoy only blood-stained pleasure in the form of wealth and sense objects. This is Bhagavat Gita, chapter 2, verse 5. After completing graduation, Shipra felt she had to take 1 year off from her studies and before joining corporate, had to give 1 year service in the social work sector. She wanted an year off. Actually, she wanted to explore life possibilities and seeing life from different angles. Shipra was the odd type, wanted to do all that she thought. She wasn't into academics and found that a very boring pursuit. Of course, like all her age, she loved spending time traveling and roaming around with friends. Once, when Shipra's mother was ill for a month, she had to leave from college and get back to her town to take care of her. It was this time that gave her the opportunity to study food and know what was best to be given to her mother then, along with the whole family. Shipra researched widely on the web and gradually picked up fantastic cooking. With all her intelligence and love, she healed the family and returned to her college with a fresh interest in food. So after the college was over, she wanted to see how India and its people lived and what was the single episode that kept all tightly held together. People loved food. Her experience summed up in a single sentence. Shipra, after college, took to traveling and meeting several bloggers. She met people independently working in the food sector, people who had their startups in healthy food selling different varieties obtained from the villages, and analyzed the entire story that lied hidden between the lines. While many did a decent job, not all belonged to a class where they really wanted to give good food to the people intentionally. Surely she had bitter experiences that also taught her the right ways of doing her own things in food. Failure, hardships, and bad experiences are the best teachers. Her travels were not an easy peasy stuff. Arranging her travel funds, budgeting, staying in hostels, making notes, updating her offline website, meeting and learning with people was a full-time job in itself. Of course, after a year of all this, she had to join the corporate. But why job? There were many issues that first had to be solved on the ground. When she started her own NGO in the village, she realized that not much was okay there also, and a lot of change was required in the mindset. To say that all was ideal was a mindless fantasy. She wasn't wanting to do something earth-shattering. The little steps would take care. However, it was her little fears that existed in her early years of life which were now evident much more clearly in psyche of villages too. She understood this entire business really well in a few years' time. She had left a lot of herself back when she took leap into the unknown. What lied outside of her taught her more, helping bring change on the inside. How? The fears and anxiety she saw in others helped her to understand her area and also the roots behind them. Negative emotions, circumstances, things, often clothed as flashy articles, did subtle harm to consciousness. This harm is invisible, noted by only a few aware individuals, so rare to find. This episode is brought to you by Gita for Women. Send us your thoughts, queries, and requests for audio classes on gitaforwomen@gmail.com. Shipra, unlike others, had not just a sharp brain, but also a heart of gold. She believed in the goodness of life around her, and that goodness was more powerful than all the negatives combined. This was her very strong belief. Sometimes in life, we find the evil as good because of not having a maturity required to be able to unclothe the truth. It is then that we put forward our side, beliefs, mindsets, theories in accordance to what we have seen or experienced at surface. To live rightly, one needs to die many times. This death is at the level of consciousness. Shipra started as a young researcher and explorer, but she became complete after a lot of awakening at each step of her journey, with others outside and within herself inside.